When you think of the Miami Heat, you think culture, toughness, hard work, discipline, no-nonsense accountability. And at the center of that culture stands head coach Erik Spoelstra, one of the most respected leaders in the NBA. But even the best coaches face friction with their players, and one of the most surprising revelations in recent years came from Heat star Bam Adebayo, who opened up in a rare, brutally honest moment about why he once hated Spoelstra. Today, we're breaking down the full story, what caused the tension, why it mattered, and how it shaped Bam into the player he is today. This is the real story behind the Heat's internal battles, emotional growth, and the truth about the relationship between Bam and SPO. Let's rewind the clock. When Bam Adebayo first entered the NBA, he wasn't the polished all-star we know today. He was raw, athletic, full of potential, but still trying to figure out his place in the league. The Heat saw something in him, though, something that went beyond highlights and physical talent. Erik Spoelstra, in particular, believed Bam could be more than just a role player. More than just a defender. More than just a rebounder. SPO thought Bam could be a cornerstone. But becoming that player was never going to be easy. Heat culture is famous for pushing players to their limit. No skipping steps. No shortcuts. No excuses. And Spoelstra coached Bam with an intensity that shocked him. SPO demanded perfection, not just physically, but mentally. He called out every mistake. He pushed Bam harder than almost anyone else on the roster. And for a young player trying to earn minutes and survive in the league, it felt personal. That's when the seeds of resentment started growing. In Bam's own words, he admitted there was a time when he hated Spoelstra. Not dislike. Not frustration. Hate. He felt the coach was always on him, always criticizing him, always expecting more when Bam thought he was already giving everything he had. Spoelstra would bench him after small mistakes. He'd challenge his effort. He'd tell him he wasn't being aggressive enough. He'd demand Bam be the engine of the defense and the connector of the offense. It wasn't normal rookie treatment, it was star treatment long before Bam believed he was a star. And like many young players in the NBA, Bam took it the wrong way. Imagine being 20 years old, new to a league full of legends, still figuring out plays and defensive rotations, and your coach is riding you harder than anyone else. At the time, Bam didn't see SPO's coaching as belief. He saw it as pressure. He saw it as criticism. He saw it as unfair. And slowly, he built up a wall of resentment. But here's where the story shifts, and where the Heat culture truly shows its power. At some point during his early career, Bam began understanding the difference between being targeted and being trusted. He realized Spoelstra wasn't pushing him to break him, he was pushing him to elevate him. The hate eventually turned into clarity. Spoelstra saw that Bam wasn't just a role player. He saw the potential for an all-star. A franchise pillar. A do-everything big who could guard guards, handle the ball, pass like a guard, dominate the paint, and anchor the Heat's identity. SPO saw Bam's ceiling long before Bam himself did. In a Candid interview, Bam revealed the moment things changed. He said he realized that the reason SPO pushed him so hard was because he believed in him more than anyone else. SPO didn't want him to settle or fade into the background. He wanted Bam to become the type of player championships are built around. And the moment Bam embraced that truth, the hate disappeared. It was replaced by gratitude. From that point on, their relationship evolved into one of the strongest coach-player bonds in the NBA. Spoelstra's tough love became the gasoline that fueled Bam's rise. The criticism turned into motivation. The pressure turned into leadership. And the expectations turned into results. Bam became an all-star. He became one of the league's best defenders. He became the anchor of a Heat team that made deep playoff runs, even reaching the NBA Finals. Every year, SPO continued raising the bar. And every year, Bam continued meeting it. This story became a perfect example of how messy but powerful player-coach relationships can be. Growth isn't always comfortable. Development isn't always easy. Sometimes the players who get pushed the hardest are the ones coaches believe in the most. Bam went from resenting Spoelstra's coaching style to understanding that it was the exact reason he became who he is. Today, Bam doesn't just respect SPO, he openly praises him. He credits SPO for molding his mentality, sharpening his discipline, and challenging him in ways only a championship-caliber coach can. The same behaviors Bam once hated became the traits he now appreciates most. SPO didn't want Bam to be good, he wanted him to be elite. And SPO's belief paid off. Their story serves as a reminder that great teams aren't built on comfort, they're built on accountability. Spoelstra saw greatness in Bam long before the rest of the league caught on. And instead of letting him coast, he pushed him to reach the version of himself that could anchor a franchise. In the end, Bam's revelation wasn't about drama. It wasn't about conflict. It was about maturity. It was about realizing that sometimes the people who push you the hardest are the ones who want the best for you. It was about recognizing that greatness requires discomfort, and Spoelstra refused to let Bam settle for anything less. So when fans ask, why did Bam Adebayo hate Erik Spoelstra? The answer is simple: he didn't understand the purpose behind the pressure. But once he saw it for what it really was, belief, trust, and a demand for excellence, the hate turned into respect, and that respect turned into leadership. Today, Bam and SPO are united as two of the most important pieces in the Miami Heat's identity. Their relationship is proof that friction doesn't break great teams, it builds them.